acknowledges that our campuses are located on the unceded traditional territories of the Coast Salish nations of Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh.
Good afternoon, I'm Raisin Velasco with your news to 3:30. Surrey police have released a photo of a foreign national removed from Canada in an effort to further their investigation into extortion violence in the city. Police say 20-year-old Pravjit Singh was removed this year after his arrest in Surrey, when investigators shared information of the man with the Canada Border Services Agency. Police say they are releasing Singh's photo to prompt more witnesses, victims, or associates to come forward. Surrey has been the focus of many extortion-related violence in the province this year, and the city has set up $250,000 reward for fund for information linked to such cases. Burnaby RCMP are looking for new angles in a car crash that happened this Saturday, where 2 children were sent to the hospital. Investigators are asking for dashcam footage from third-party drivers near Hastings Street during the time of the crash. Reporter Adam Wang has more.
Officers stated that the footage from the third party is just as important as the footage from the involved. The third-person perspective helped the police to analyze the things that could have caused the incident. Corporal Mike Calange says even ordinary footage that looked like nothing went wrong can change the course of an investigation.
Sometimes we don't have a plate. But we have a description of the vehicle, and someone might have been driving behind them 5 minutes earlier, not knowing that they actually have some evidence that the police could use, whether it be in a collision. Sometimes it's in a shooting. Sometimes it could be a homicide. You don't know what you're capturing before or after a crime happens.
Police wants to see any video captured between 12:30 and 12:45 p.m. on Saturday. The investigation of the car crash remains ongoing. For BCIT News, I'm Adam Wang.
Richmond RCMP says a person has been arrested at the Vancouver International Airport after they've accessed an aircraft without authorization. Officers were called to the airport after the incident at about 4 this morning. The detachment says in a news release that the response involved specialized police resources, as well as staff at the airport, but did not provide much about the breach. Police say the situation was resolved and a person is taken into custody. The latest online craze has taken over Vancouver's youth. Scientology raids are underway. Reporter Nevin Yackel shares how the VPD are dealing with the dangerous event.
Scientology speedruns are a new trend in which teenagers have been attempting to raid Scientology churches in North America. On Saturday, nearly 300 teens showed up to the event in Vancouver, where chaos ensued after people were seen trying to kick down gates and were throwing objects at police officers. VPD Constable Darren Wong shared how the police prepare for these events.
But it's being able to stay on top of that, communicate with people online, monitor what's happening online as well to see when the next event is going to take place. And that would give us the ability to respond in kind, to know, oh, we have a potential event that's happening on this date at this time. Let's have some police officers ready to go in case that happens.
Although the VPD were able to dissolve the event, there are rumors of another raid happening next Saturday. Nevin Yackel, BCIT News.
Each year, Pacific salmon return to the Fraser River, bringing life back with them. BCIT's Neve Wellington has more on their importance to the ecosystem.
In the face of changing environmental conditions, the Fraser River continues to support one of the largest salmon runs in the world. According to Parks Canada, salmon play a vital role in the river's health. Returning salmon bring back nutrients to help maintain a healthy and balanced ecosystem between forests, rivers, and oceans. River conservationist Mark Angelo said healthy salmon stocks reflect the health of the environment.
So I think if we can succeed in maintaining healthy rivers, if we can succeed in maintaining healthy salmon stocks, that's an indication that we're then doing a better job in terms of protecting the environment overall, which benefits us all.
It's not just the fish that feel the change, but the entire ecosystem that depends on them. Neve Wellington, BCIT News.
Prime Minister Mark Carney has addressed the European Political Community Summit in Armenia. saying countries must take on the world as it is and not through the lens of nostalgia. The summit discussed the strategic cooperation in politics, security, and infrastructure. Canada is the first non-European country to attend.
We're here because of the moral and security imperatives of our cooperation in the Caucasus, in the Baltics, in Ukraine, across Europe, and also because of the immense potential for our partnerships to build a better, more prosperous, sustainable, and just world for our citizens.
A Saskatchewan law that allows residents to store prohibited firearms is now in effect. The province says gun owners can receive exemption certificates through Saskatchewan Firearm Forces. Justice Minister Tim MacLeod says the measures help owners avoid prosecution while they await for compensation from the federal government. Individuals who don't comply with the program could face criminal liability. A Calgary man accused of killing his 2 young children remained in custody after making brief court appearance. The 37-year-old, who faces 2 counts of first-degree murder, showed no emotion as he appeared on video from detention. Court heard he has a lawyer who is waiting for more information in the case, and his next court appearance is June 5th. A publication ban prevents identifying the children and the accused. An update with gas prices, with tensions in the Strait of Hormuz likely to continue to escalate between the U.S. and Iran, shipping vessels stranded for more than a month and now left waiting. Wondering when the strait will reopen, releasing the global market for rising gas costs. Chief economist for RSM US LLP tells ABC News where Americans can also expect to see prices hikes outside of the gas pump.
The second order or second round effects that are going to begin to show up in the April data, but more pronounced in May, June, and July, is those increasing gasoline prices cause everything that needs to be delivered to get more expensive. And guess where it's going to show up most clearly? It's going to be in food.
Indigenous peoples across North America are gathering this month to raise awareness about violence in their communities while demanding response from authorities. While May 5th is recognized as the Day of Awareness in the Missing and Murdered Indigenous Peoples movement, events are already starting and planned throughout this month. In Canada, it's referred to as Redress Day as a symbol of gendered and racialized violence. Events include prayer walks, art exhibits, self-defense classes, film screenings, healing circles, and marches at U.S. state capitals to plead for better cooperation among law enforcement agencies. In entertainment news, pop superstar Britney Spears is taking a plea deal in a case of alleged driving while she was intoxicated last March. Spears did not appear in person at Monday's hearing. ABC's Alex Stone reports from Southern California.
The California Highway Patrol says when they pulled over Britney Spears for erratic driving, she was intoxicated with both drugs and alcohol. Now she's agreed to plead guilty to a lesser count of reckless driving rather than DUI to avoid a trial and jail time. The judge ruling
she's released on 12 months of summary probation.
In addition to 12 months of probation, Spears must enroll in an alcohol recovery program and get mental health help. Alex Stone, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Stars from the world of Hollywood, sports, politics, fashion, and pop culture will line up to pose today at the Met Gala. The event will celebrate with costume art as its theme. Guests are encouraged to consider the ways designers use the body as a blank canvas. And now in weather, BC broke daily temperature records in at least 24 locations this weekend, with many spiking above 30 degrees. Environment Canada says among the highest was Pemberton, displacing a record set almost 70 years ago. The BC Wildlife Service says there are about 31 active wildfires in BC, with roughly 10 started within the last week, and warns of the increase. Students say with air conditioning, the heat can still be felt during peak hours. Reporter Vienna Nguyen has more.
Students say even with air conditioning, the heat can still be felt during peak hours. Some of the students rely on fans to stay comfortable, especially in study rooms where airflow can be limited.
Honestly, I think that the heating throughout the building is quite good at Tall Timber because they have a really, really good air conditioning unit. I would say that the study rooms are really hot. Currently have a weird system that makes it that the air conditioning doesn't come on until it reaches a certain.
That's all for your news at 3:30. Coming up next, Emma Connolly with your sports news update. I'm Raisin Velasquez.
Everything is changing to digital. Everything is online. People aren't just waiting for the 6 o'clock news anymore. People want their news right now. They want to be able to go onto their smartphone, onto the internet, and see the news that they want to see.
Vancouver is growing at a really rapid rate, the Lower Mainland even, and with the tools that we're given here, we're able to cover all of that.
Welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Radhika Sikakane.
In the program, they really leave it up to you. I mean, the help is there when you need it, figuring out how to use the programs like Premiere, Audition, and figuring out how to use the cameras. But it's up to you to sort of experiment and figure out what you can do when you go out in the field.
They brought candles and flowers to remember the student who lost her life yesterday.
Theresa May says the international community condemns Moscow.
They really make sure that you know the basics and you are able to put out a quality product.
I'm Brady Trentanero.
And I'm Radhika Sikakane. Thank you for tuning in to BCIT Magazine.
afternoon, and welcome back to BCIT's The Crow. I'm Emma Connolly, and these are your sports headlines for 3:45. The Toronto Maple Leafs announced Sunday the new hiring of John Shaka as a new general manager, and Matt Suddens as a senior executive advisor of hockey operations. Canadian Press reporter David Augustine tells us more.
The Original Six franchise looked both forward and back Sunday, naming ex-captain Mats Sundin as its senior executive advisor of hockey operations and John Shaka as general manager. The move marks a reset at the club's front office after a season that ended with Toronto missing the playoffs for the first time since 2016. Toronto fired GM Brad Treliving in March. The club also did not replace President Brendan Shanahan after he was let go in May 2025. Sundin and Shaka arrived with the organization still searching for its first Stanley Cup since 1967. David Augustine, The Canadian Press, Toronto.
The hirings come with some controversy as Shaka, the new general manager, was accused of contacting an employee of another franchise without the team's approval. The NHL confirmed this morning that Shaka has been cleared of these tampering charges per Sportsnet. The Toronto Maple Leafs will have more details to offer this afternoon. Over in the Professional Women's Hockey League, an intense game took place between the Minnesota Frost and Montreal Victoire. It was a game one of the Walter Cup Finals, with the Frost taking the win in overtime by 5-4. A couple of incidents took place during the game, including a second-period altercation that happened when a Frost player pulled her opponent to the ice by the cage of her helmet, resulting in a one-game suspension and $250 fine from the league. The two teams meet again tomorrow night for Game 4 in Montreal. Puck drop is 4 p.m. Excitement heats up as the NHL's draft lottery is coming up. The lottery determines the order of which the teams of the league get to pick the up-and-coming prospects of 2026, with some notable names in there, such as Gavin McKenna and Ivar Stenberg. The three teams with the best odds will be the Vancouver Canucks with an 18.5%, the Chicago Blackhawks with a 13.5%, and the New York Rangers with an 11.5%. The draft will take place tomorrow, May 5th at 4 p.m. The Calgary Flames signed forward Theo Stockselius to a 3-year entry-level contract. The 18-year-old Sweden native was drafted by the Flames 54th overall in the 2025 NHL Draft. Following their loss last night, Toronto Raptors power forward Scotty Barnes feels his team wasn't successful but had a good season. The two-time All-Star say the Raptors left nothing on the table in their first taste of playoffs since 2022.
Successful, I don't know about successful, but it was a good season for us. I felt like we went out there every single game and we just got better. Found out more about ourselves after each and every single game. And, we worked really hard.
Toronto lost in 7 games in the first round to a more experienced and heavily favored Cleveland Cavaliers. The semi-rounds of NBA playoffs start tonight with the Philadelphia 76ers taking on the New York Knicks, and the San Antonio Spurs are set to play the Minnesota Timberwolves. Watch for Kelly Olynyk as he's the lone Canadian player for the Spurs and only Canadian left in the NBA playoffs. In MLB today, the Toronto Blue Jays take on the Tampa Bay Rays. That game started at 3:45 and currently sits with no score. The Seattle Mariners will play the Atlanta Braves at 6:40. Both Jays and Mariners look to bounce back following their losses yesterday. The race for the Cup continues with more NHL action tonight and with Game 2 of the second-round matchup between the Philadelphia Flyers and Carolina Hurricanes. Hurricanes currently lead that series 1-0. The player to watch will be Logan Stankoven. The Kamloops product set the record as the youngest player in NHL history to begin a postseason with a 5-game goal streak at just 23 years old. Puck drop for that game is 4 p.m. And over at the T-Mobile Arena, Game 1 of Round 2 series between the Vegas Golden Knights and the Anaheim Ducks will start tonight. All eyes will be on the Ducks as they manage to eliminate the Edmonton Oilers in Round 1. They are showing their determination as they play in the second round for the first time since 2017. The player to watch will be the Olympic gold medalist Jack Eichel. Eichel currently leads the team in postseason points with 1 goal and 8 assists, tallying up 9 points this postseason. Puck drop for that game sits at 6:30. That's all for your sports updates. I'm Emma Connolly, and this was BCIT's The Crow.
Stay tuned for more on BCIT's 1680 The Crow.
everything is changing to digital. Everything is online. People aren't just waiting for the 6 o'clock news anymore. People want their news right now. They want to be able to go onto their smartphone, onto the internet, and see the news that they want to see.
Vancouver is growing at, a really rapid rate, the Lower Mainland even, and with the tools that we're given here, we're able to cover all of that.
Welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Radhika King.
In the program, they really leave it up to you. I mean, the help is there when you need it, figuring out how to use the programs like Premiere, Audition, and figuring out how to use the cameras. But it's up to you to sort of experiment and figure out what you can do when you go out in the field.
They brought candles and flowers to remember the student who lost her life yesterday.
Theresa May says the international community condemns Moscow.
They really make sure that you know the basics and you are able to put out a quality product.
I'm Brady Tretnero.
And I'm Radhika King. Thank you for tuning in to BCIT Magazine.